is a carbon fiber bodied 800 horsepower, $170,000 Ford Mustang. I know, it's a lot to take in, but hear me out. This pony is worth the money. Over the next 10 to 12 minutes, depending on what jokes land and how much time Max and Graham want to spend making disturbing face melting things out of my face, I'm gonna tell you why this is the most advanced Mustang ever built and why it was even made in the first place. It's time to go front fascia to rear wing, bumper to bumper on the Peregrine Revenge GT. The Mustang is one of America's tentpole cars. You can't imagine the USA without it. Because of that, the Mustang has become something of a meme, right? How many different jokes have you heard about these cars? Probably a lot. But that's why I think this one in particular is so interesting. The leap from 5th to 6th gen Mustang in 2015 was immense. The biggest change for the new model was the suspension. For decades, the Mustang's biggest flaw was the handling. But in 2015, all that changed. The new independent rear suspension elevated the Mustang from muscle car to whole-ass sports car. The S550 Mustang is one of the best bargains in the world. You can get anything from a turbo 4-cylinder EcoBoost to the new 760 horsepower Shelby GT500. But what if that's not enough for you? Peregrine was founded in 2017 by the Coulion brothers, Alex and Armin. They are huge Mustang fans and wanted to build a sports car that could beat anything on the road, both in terms of speed and price. They believed the Mustang was the best way to do that because even without modifying it, the S550 platform is a great value. They got to work making their vision a reality using a 2018 Mustang GT. So what is it that they did to make it a revenge GT? Peregrine starts with a stock Mustang GT provided by the customer. But it can't be just any Mustang GT. Peregrine has a list on their website detailing which features to order, like MagneRide suspension, active performance exhaust, and the GT Performance Pack. Once you get a Mustang that meets these conditions, then the transformation can begin. Before Peregrine replaces anything with carbon, they make sure everything under the hood is just as radical as the bodywork. They install a 3-liter Whipple supercharger on top of the 5-liter Coyote V8. This honker pushes upwards of 800 buff horsepower. That's more than 300 over stock. Peregrine tunes the ECU and transmission together to make sure that the power gets to the ground smoothly and reliably. After all, the Revenge GT is a street car, and it's pointless to make something this sweet if you can't drive it every day. How do I know? I built Low Car. One of Peregrine's main goals with the Revenge GT was to make a car that could go head-to-head with exotics, and this engine is one of the main reasons it can. The Coyote V8 is insanely stable and loves to be modded. Even though this puppy's making 800 horsepower, it's super reliable. And if that's not enough for you, Peregrine can build you an engine making upwards of 1,200 horsepower, which would be like having 3 stock Coyotes under the hood. Underneath the car, Peregrine spent months tweaking the handling. They didn't use wheel spacers to fill out the wide body like some sort of Instagram car influencer or high team. To widen the track, Peregrine designed their own lower A-arms. And it wasn't as easy as it sounds. And honestly, that doesn't even sound that easy. They started by making the arms longer, but found that the car didn't handle like they wanted. So they kept tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it until they had spent 3 months perfecting those A-arms. What seemed like a minor tweak became one of the most time-consuming pieces on the car. But once they finished, the time spent was well worth it. The front track is 3 inches wider than stock and 6 inches wider in the rear. One surprising thing about the suspension is that Peregrine uses the MagneRide dampers that come with the car from the factory because they're just that good. The shocks are filled with a magnetic fluid that can change its properties on the fly. The car can go from a super cushy ride to stiff as a board with the press of a button. Peregrine installs shorter springs, which lower the Revenge GT by 1 inch. Just look at this stance. Peregrine swaps out the stock brakes for something a little more aggressive. These are custom Brembo 6-piston brakes paired with these massive rotors that fill the barrel of the wheel. Brakes like these are crucial if you want to track your car. The increased piston count means there's more bite force on the rotors, and the bigger rotors means that there's more surface area to dissipate heat, which drastically reduces brake fade. Put both of those together and you have brakes that can stop harder for longer.
Pistons, rotors, brakes much harder. Pistons, rotors, brakes much longer. Pistons, rotors, brakes much harder. All your car is stopping faster.
Do something with that, Max. Speaking of wheels, the Revenge GT is rolling on some custom forged aluminum wheels designed by Forgeline. In wheel terms, these things are light as a feather, which helps acceleration and handling. Less weight means not as much work to get them turning. They also look sick as hell. These Forgelines are wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport 4s with 295s in the front and 345s in the rear, which might be the biggest tire we've ever seen on B2B besides Gravedigger. I really like the way these wheels look. I want them for my Mustang, and I'd probably curb the shit out of them. The power and handling of the Revenge GT is impressive and definitely worth talking about. But let's be honest, when you clicked on this video, it was probably because you saw the words carbon fiber in the title. Those words tend to get a lot of attention, so let's talk about it. Back in 2017, the Coulion brothers had drawings of what they wanted their Mustang to look like. They had to make that vision come to life. They rented out a small shop and got working on their 2018 Mustang prototype. First, they laid modeling clay on the car and sculpted all the shapes. Then, they had the car laser scanned, which produced a digital copy of the car. With that file, they could make individual computer drawings of all the components with CAD software. With those CAD drawings, Peregrine was able to machine the master molds that the carbon fiber pieces would be made with. Everything you see here, besides the doors, roof, and trunk, are made from carbon fiber. Carbon is a finicky mistress to work with. If you get that resin ratio off or bake at the wrong temperature, the end product will be either too brittle or too weak. It's hard to do. In the end though, the carbon fiber shaves 200 pounds off the car, which is 1/4 James or 0.88 Mies. That's nothing to shake a stick at. The sculpted bodywork at the front feeds cool air to the brakes, and the openings on the hood send air all over the top of the engine, which keeps the engine bay cool. The side skirts guide air down the side of the car, and this thing has a freaking carbon under tray, like a F1 car. It almost sucks itself to the road. That's insane. This thing is truly impressive. The wing on the back looks like it would be at home on a GT3 race car. Peregrine says it produces 120 pounds of downforce and basically no drag at 140 miles per. That's really good for how unobtrusive this wing is. They had to reinforce the trunk lid with carbon fiber bracing because they found out the downforce from the wing was bending the sheet metal. That's awesome. Naturally, you might compare this thing to the upcoming 2020 Shelby GT500, and that's fine. Compared to the Shelby, the Revenge looks a little more tamer, a little more streamlined, and I actually really love that. Peregrine sculpted the front fascia in a way that makes the headlights look even angrier. And unlike Ford, Peregrine made extensive changes to the rear of the car. I know the styling might not be for everybody. I freaking love it though. And you can't deny that this thing looks fast. And guess what? It is. But what about the inside of the car? What's going on in there? Well, it's time for the part of the show where Eddie gives me a GoPro to put in my mouth and it tastes like his pocket. We've never washed it. Ooh. No drama. Inside, the Revenge GT feels just like a Mustang, but the main modification are the seats. Peregrine reupholsters them any way you like. No Revenge GTs are gonna be the same, and I love these white seats, they're awesome. As you might have noticed, this car has an automatic transmission. Peregrine actually recommends that you order the 10-speed auto when you buy your donor car. It shifts faster than a manual, and it's strong enough to handle all that power up front. Along with tuning the engine, they tweak the transmission so power delivery is smooth and streetable. So, why did Peregrine name this car Revenge? Well, to find out, I asked them. You ever heard the saying, success is the best revenge? That's why. Peregrine built this car for the buyer who wants something different, but still wants that supercar performance. And the Revenge GT succeeds in doing just that. So I guess that does the saying justice, right? I'm gonna start it up. James always laughs when he does this, and now I know why. Oof. I want to just drive this thing off the roof. All right, I'm gonna turn it off. That was the seat. Peregrine's only gonna build 50 of these bad boys, 35 hardtops like this, and 15 convertibles. After that, there will be no more Revenge GTs. The next phase of Peregrine's plan is to give the carbon fiber treatment to some Porsche GT3 RSs. They want to do something with the GT2 if anyone will let them. The Revenge GT is a monument not only to Peregrine's engineering expertise, but also the Mustang itself. As one of America's favorite cars, millions of Mustangs have been built in a million different ways. It's only fitting to pay tribute to that legacy by building one crazier than all the rest. I want to thank Peregrine for bringing the Revenge GT out and the Peterson Automotive Museum for letting us shoot here. If you're a car nerd at all, you need to get your butt out here and check out all the dope cars they have in their collection. Definitely take the Vault tour. It's amazing. I've done it. We've all done it at Donut. Thanks for watching. Be nice. See you next time.
Look cool as Think about like Kavinsky, like night driving. Ready?